Today we are going to see 7th chapter, which is coordinate geometry. Before we learn the exercise, let us understand some points. The distance of a point from the y-axis is its x-coordinate. When a point is given and if you measure the distance from the y-axis, that is called what? X-coordinate. The distance of a point from the x-axis is the y-coordinate. The third point is the coordinates of the origin are 0, 0. All this we had studied in the earlier classes. The coordinate of a point on the x-axis is of the form x0. If you take any point on the x-axis, x will be there, whereas y-coordinate will be 0. Similarly, if you take a point on the y-axis, then x-coordinate will be 0. So, any point on y-axis is of the form 0, y. So, all these 5 points we know very well. We had studied in 8th standard, 9th standard when we started graph section. So, let us understand what is the next point by drawing a simple figure. The next point is the distance between any two points A and B is denoted by AB. If A is a point and B is a point, right? To measure the distance between A and B, usually we use a ruler and we find out. Whereas when it is not plotted, right? Whereas its coordinates are given, we know what is a coordinate. Say point A is here. Its value is say 3, 5. And say here B is there. Its coordinates are say -4, -3. Right? We are asked to find out the distance between these two points. If it is plotted, if the figure is given, we can measure using a ruler. Whereas when the figure is not given, only coordinates of A and B are given. The question is find the distance between A 3, 5 and B -4, -3. Right? In that case, we are going to use a formula called distance formula. What is the distance formula? The first coordinate is taken as x1, y1 and the second coordinate x2, y2. Or if you want, we can interchange even this as x1, y1 and this as x2, y2. Then the distance between these two points, is nothing but difference of the x coordinates, difference. So it can be x2 minus x1 or x1 minus x2. I have written here x2 minus x1 square. Because we have written square, we can take it in any order, but the sign in between should be what? Should be minus. Plus the difference of the y coordinates. Y coordinates are y2, y1. So its difference square. So distance between two points is calculated using square root of x2 minus x1 the whole square plus y2 minus y1 the whole square. So it is written here. The distance between the points A x1 y1 and B x2 y2 is AB equals root of x2 minus x1 the whole square plus y2 minus y1 the whole square. Hope you understood. So in this formula, we can substitute x2 by -4, x1 by 3, its whole square plus y2 is -3 minus y1 is 5 whole square. If we calculate this, we will get distance between these two points. So we should remember distance formula is square root of x2 minus x1 the whole square plus y2 minus y1 the whole square. We know what is the coordinate of the origin. We know what is origin. The point of intersection of x-axis and y-axis is called origin, denoted by O. Its coordinates are 0, 0. Also remember what we read in the first few points. I'll explain it again. If you take any point on the y-axis, we know what is y-axis. The vertical line is called what? Called y-axis, and the horizontal line we have taken is called x-axis. So this is what this is, y-axis. If you take any point on this y-axis, x coordinate will be 0, remember. Any point on y-axis is of the form 0, y just now we read. So y can be any number including 0, whereas this x coordinate will be what? Will be 0 at all the points of y-axis. Similarly, if you take x-axis, any point on the x-axis, y coordinate will be 0. X can be any number. It can be -5 or -2, any number. Can be 0 also here. But y coordinate will take only 0 on all the points of x-axis. And what is this point called? Origin. Intersection of x-axis and y-axis. Its coordinates are 0, 0. So what is this -5 represents? This -5 is, or we say, this side I take, it will be more easier. I take a point here, 3, 2. This 3 we know it is x coordinate. The very first number we take for x and the second number we take for y. This 3 shows x coordinate. This x coordinate is nothing but its distance from y-axis. Distance from the y-axis. That is what? That is 3. And 2 stands for y coordinate. What is y coordinate? The distance of any point from the x-axis is y coordinate. Those are the 5 points we learnt today in the first few places. The distance of any point from the y-axis is x coordinate. The distance of any point from the x-axis is the y coordinate. Then coordinates of origin are 0, 0. And any point on x-axis is of the form x is 0, and any point on y-axis is of the form 0, y. And then we studied how to measure distance between 2 points. The formula we understood is AB equals square root of x2 minus x1 the whole square plus y2 minus y1 the whole square. If we measure any distance either from A to B or from B to A, it's going to be the same. Therefore, in general, we write AB is equal to what? Equal to BA. And when you measure the distance between 2 points, remember, it is always a positive, or we say it is non-negative. It is non-negative. It never be negative. Sometimes we'll get 0 and sometimes we'll get positive. That is why we say non-negative. So when A and B are distinct points, the answer will be what? The answer will be positive. Suppose if you find A and B at the same point, in that case, what is the distance between A and B? A and B equal to 0. So it is written here. AB equal to 0 if and only if A is equal to B. If you find A and B at the same point, in that case, the distance between A and B becomes 0. Otherwise, it becomes positive. Therefore, we say distance is always non-negative. What do you mean by non-negative? Can be 0 or can be positive, but not negative. The next point is, if A, B and C are collinear. You know what are collinear points? Points which lie on the same line. Points which lie on the same line. You can find A, B and C lie on the same line. Therefore, they are collinear points. And you can find B lies between A and C. B lies between A and C. Therefore, the longest distance, that is AC, can be written as AB plus BC. So, if A, B and C are collinear and if B lies between A and C, we can write AC equal to AB plus BC. So, this point we are going to use for collinear points. Should remember. Then we understand some more points for triangles. First I explain, then I write in proper form. We know what is an equilateral triangle. When a triangle is said to be equilateral, it is said to be equilateral when all the three sides are equal. Suppose if we have taken the triangle ABC, then we write AB equal to BC equal to AC. So when points are given, to prove it is an equilateral triangle, what we should prove? We should prove all the three sides are equal. Suppose if you want to prove the triangle is an isosceles triangle. What do you mean by isosceles triangle? Any two sides of these three should be equal. It can be AB equal to BC or BC equal to AC or AC equal to AB. So for any triangle, if you prove two sides are equal, it becomes what becomes an isosceles triangle. Then comes scalene triangle. What is scalene triangle? Scalene triangle is a triangle in which all the three sides are unequal. Therefore, AB not equal to BC, which is not equal to AC. Then comes right angled triangle. Right angled triangle. What is a right angled triangle? In which the square of the largest side will be equal to sum of the squares of the remaining two sides. If AC is the greatest, then square of AC, if it is equal to AB square plus BC square, then we say triangle ABC is a right angled triangle, and which becomes hypotenuse. AC becomes the hypotenuse and angle B becomes a right angle, means the alphabet which is not present here. B becomes right angle. What is isosceles right angled triangle? Isosceles right angle. Just we have to combine the property of isosceles and right angle. Two sides should be equal and square of the biggest should be equal to sum of the squares of remaining two sides. Then we say it is an isosceles right angled triangle. So here we may be asked to show that it is an equilateral triangle. So if equilateral triangle is asked, what we should prove? All the three sides are equal. If we are asked to prove isosceles triangle, we should prove any two sides are equal. If it is scalene triangle, we should prove all the three sides are unequal. If it is a right angle triangle, the square of the longest side should be proved equal to sum of the squares of remaining two sides. If it is isosceles right angle triangle, two sides we have to prove equal and square of the biggest we should prove it is equal to sum of the squares of remaining two sides. So all these points we should remember to complete the exercise. Conditions we should remember. Easily using distance formula we can find out all this. So only thing, after finding AB, BC, AC, this is the concluding points that we should remember. In a quadrilateral ABCD, if AB equal to CD and BC equal to AD, means if opposite sides if you find equal, then the quadrilateral is a parallelogram. This also can be proved by finding midpoint of AC and midpoint of BD. If ABCD is a quadrilateral, if you find midpoint of AC and midpoint of BD, and if you find both are equal, then also we can conclude it is a parallelogram. So to prove it is a parallelogram, there are two conditions. We can prove both the pairs of opposite sides are equal, or we can prove midpoint of the diagonals are equal. The second point is, if you find all the four sides are equal in a quadrilateral, then it is converted into a rhombus. The third point is, if opposite sides are equal and if the diagonals are also equal, then it becomes a rectangle. And for a square, if all the four sides are equal and diagonals are also equal, then this ABCD is converted into a square. So all this we had studied in the previous standards. So just we should remember for the conclusion.